Hello guys. So in this session we are going to discuss on SAP ERP. SAP ERP, and there are different systems like OLTP and OLAP. So we are going to see what is OLTP system and what is OLAP system. So first we'll discuss on ERP software. So SAP ERP software. So whoever completed their graduation or anything in computer science, they might come across ERP somewhere in their subjects. What is ERP?
Enterprise resource planning.
Yes, Enterprise Resource Planning Software. Okay, ERP means Enterprise Resource Planning Software. So how it is different from other softwares? What is the specialty of ERP?
It helps run the business of any organization
Yes.
will
So
automatically.
yes. So SAP or any other ERP designed to run the organization, to run the different business functions of the organization. If you take any other software, one software might be used for sales, the other software might be used for HR recruiting, the other software might be used for to run the payrolls, right? All these are individual systems. The data is going to save in those individual systems, right? If you take any other softwares. But when you talk about ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning Software, so it's going to support all core business functionalities of the organization or any company, right? To handle sales, to handle finance, right? To run the employee payroll, recruiting. So all these core business functionalities are already designed in the ERP software. Few softwares might contain all core business functionalities. Few ERP softwares might contain only few important business modules, right? Okay, I'll give you these notes. You don't need to note down. I'll send you this. So ERP is used to run the core business functionalities of the organization. It provides integration between different business modules of the organization. What do you mean by integration? Integration, nothing but,
Combining.
let's say this is the ERP software. There are different ERP softwares developed by different companies. So SAP is the one of the ERP product developed by which company? SAP.
SAP.
Okay, SAP itself is a company name. So SAP ERP is the product name. We have different versions of it, and different other companies like Microsoft, Oracle, they have designed their own ERP softwares. Like for Microsoft, they have Dynamics, I think, Microsoft Dynamics. For Oracle, they have Oracle applications. Like that, there are hundreds of ERP softwares. But out of these hundreds of ERP software, SAP is the most popular ERP software. SAP is the most popular and approved ERP software. Okay. If you take any large organization, if you take any big organizations, 90% of the big organizations will run on SAP ERP. Okay. Because of its inbuilt core business functionalities and its reliability. That's why most of the big companies are going to choose SAP as their ERP software. Okay. So why we need to use ERP? Any company uses ERP because of the integration. It provides better integration between different business functionalities like sales. Any company will do some sales, right? Their finished products. Procurement. What do you mean by procurement?
Gathering the raw.
Procurement or purchasing, right? Procurement or
Yes.
purchasing. So to
Yes.
buy raw materials, right? Raw material will be different, depends on the company's business, right? Let's take any car manufacturing company. What are the raw materials they need? They need tires, paint, steel, right? Lights, different electrical chips, right? They won't manufacture all of them, right?
Yes.
They make only cars. They don't manufacture tires. They won't manufacture paint. Paint they'll buy from some Asian paints. Tires they'll buy from some MRF, right? So we call them vendors or suppliers who supplies the raw material to the company. Okay. So procurement department will handle that. Purchasing the raw material. Dealing with the vendors or suppliers. Okay. In SAP, for that we have a module MM. In previous ECC versions, we call them as MM, Material Management. Now, in S4 HANA environment, in the current version of SAP ERP, we call them as P2P. What is P2P? Procure to pay. Procure to pay. Sales. In the previous versions, we used to call them as SD. Now we are calling as O2C. Order to cash.
Yes.
Receiving orders from the customer to receiving the cash. That is one flow, right? So what is the functionality of sales department? Selling the finished products, right? So
Yes.
sales department used to deal with the customers or vendors?
Customers.
Customer.
Customers.
Customers.
Because they sell products to the customer, right? And they receive payments from the customer. Here, procurement department will deal with the vendors or suppliers, right? To procure or to buy raw materials as per the company needs, and they have to pay, right? Finance. In SAP, we have a module FICO, finance and controlling. CO means controlling, right? So this is a separate department which is responsible to handle the account payables and account receivables. The amount which we need to pay to the suppliers or vendors for the raw material, or the amount which we receive from the customer, which company receives from the customer once they sell any product. So finance department is going to handle that, right? Human resources, HR department. In any company, what is the business functionality of the HR department?
Managing the
Now,
payrolls.
employment.
In HR, there are different modules. Recruiting. So this recruiting team is responsible to hire new employees, right? And operations team, HR operations team. What is the role of HR operations team? Their responsibility is to run the payroll and provide employee benefits like employee health insurance and other benefits, right? Clear? So HR recruiting team is different and HR operations team is different in general in any company. So HR recruiting team is only responsible to hire the employees, find the suitable employee for the current open position. So in SAP, we call it as HCM, Human Capital Management. Human Capital Management. So for company, what are the assets of the company? Buildings, factories. Are these the only assets of the company?
No.
Employee is also a
No.
very important asset of the company, right? That's why they call it as the Human Capital Management module, HCM module. By using this HCM module, they can handle employee recruiting or payroll activities, even employee attendance and everything. What is the role of production planning department?
To manufacture the product.
They need to plan as per the demand from the sales department, right? As per the orders received from the sales department, this production planning department is need to plan the manufacturing of the products, right? Other departments like warehouse management. Warehouse means usually where they keep all their products in some warehouse, right? A distribution area. So that would be managed by warehouse management department, right? So receiving the stock to the warehouse. Warehouse is nothing but in our general terms we call them as godowns, right? Receiving the stock from external vendors or sending the stock to the customers. Everything will be handled by warehouse management department, right? Now, tell me, can all these departments work individually without any communication? Can we run the business?
No, we
No.
can't.
No, we can't run the
No,
business.
sir.
Let me tell you, to manufacture any product, what this production planning department needs to plan the production of any product?
Raw material,
They need raw material and
Requirement from the customer.
requirement from the customer. And what is the other important thing we need?
Employees.
Manpower.
the
Yeah,
Manpower.
manpower or employees, skilled workers who is suitable for that role, right? Not everyone can do every job, right? So
yes,
as per
sir.
their skills, they are suitable for the specific role. Now, let's say sales department got a huge order from one customer. Now, sales department needs to communicate with which department? Production planning department. Hey, when can you deliver these products? What is the estimated date you can deliver these products so that I can deliver these products to the customer, right? So production planning department, as per their resources and raw material availability, and as per the current plan, they'll provide some estimated date, right? To plan this additional order, what the production planning department need? They need additional human resources like manpower and raw materials, right? Raw materials, they need to communicate with procurement department to buy the raw materials, right? So once the raw material is received from the vendor, where we keep that?
Warehouse.
In the
Warehouse.
warehouse. So that warehousing management department will handle that functionality. How many goods are coming into the warehouse and how many we are sending out? Everything will be managed here in the warehousing management department, right? This is most popular in e-commerce companies where they used to keep their all the deliverable products, right? It is very critical functionality for them to maintain this warehouse, right? You might observe, like in a smaller case, you might observe postal department. like how they organize these letters or the deliverables according to pin codes or everything, right? But if you take any large e-commerce company like Amazon, if you go to their warehouse, it is very difficult to find which one we need to send for which customer, right? Where that particular product is available, in which shelf, in which rack. For example, if you go to any medical shop, if you ask for any medicine, they used to search for that specific rack, right, to get that medicine, because they organize such a way that they can easily find that related medicine, right? They'll have some technique or some plan to organize those medicines, which can be easily found whenever a customer asks for specific medicine, right? Here also in warehouse management, SAP has developed a functionality to organize the warehouse, right? And at the end, whatever the revenue received from the customers, from the sales, goes to finance.
Finance.
For procurement, need account payables from finance.
Finance.
For payroll, again, HCM will integrate with finance department. So there are different other modules. So this is the basic thing what we are discussing now. So what you have observed here, so every department is integrating with other department, right? Let's assume procurement department is using one separate system, their separate system and their own database, right? And finance department is using their own system. And HR, they are using their separate system. Now tell me, to connect these systems, are they automatically in communication? No, right?
No,
We
sir.
have to connect these systems using some integration
So,
tools or interfaces. If you need procurement data, that data will be available in one system. If you need finance data, that data will be available in other system. If you need HCM data, that data will be available in another system. So the data is not stored in a single place where we can get all the information of the company, right? If you need procurement data, you need to go to one system. If you need finance data, you need to go to other system, right? This is in case you are using other softwares, non-ERP softwares. There is additional overhead of integrating these systems to send the request and to receive the response. There is a lot of challenges to integrate these many systems. When we replace all these systems with ERP, right? So ERP contains all these core business functionalities in one place, in one system, right? You don't need additional overhead of integrating different systems, and you don't need to maintain these multiple systems. When you go for a ERP software, now we are talking about SAP ERP software. SAP ERP software is a single point of truth. That means whatever the business data you need, you can just go to SAP ERP and check it, because all the business data is going to store in SAP ERP,
ERP.
single place. Procurement data, sales data, finance, everything will be available in a single system, right? That is One advantage where you can find all the data, organization's data in a single place. But what is the main advantage of ERP? It integrates the different departments of the company, right? It provides better integration between different departments of the company. There is no manual interaction. You don't, like sales department, no need to write any email or send any letter or call them and ask for something, right? Once sales department receives the order, that will be automatically updated to production planning department, finance department. Once a procurement department procure something, that will be automatically posted to warehouse management, finance, right? No manual interaction needed. No one need to update manually, right? Company's business should be automated when we are using a SAP ERP. The payments should go on time automatically. The payments should receive. If payments are not received on time from the customer, finance department will automatically send a notice, right, to the customer about the payments. All this should be automated. So all these functionalities, right, they're already designed in ERP software, in SAP ERP software. You can purchase the license of the product, SAP ERP product, and the organization can implement it and start using it. You don't need to write any functionalities from the beginning. You don't need to design anything here. SAP ERP is a product. That's why we call it as ERP product. What is the difference between product and other softwares? You might have
Product
heard
is
of
ready to use.
product-based companies and service-based companies like that, right? So product means end application which is ready to use, right? You don't need to do any development, right? Like our MS Office. Just install it and start using it. Then, if it is ready
Sir,
to,
any other examples of ERP?
yeah, we have Microsoft Dynamics, Oracle applications, and there are a lot of smaller ERPs like Tally. Tally is also kind of ERP, but not that much big like SAP ERP, not that much powerful, which can run smaller organizations.
Sir, I have one more doubt.
Yes,
SAP ERP we are using, like now you said no some examples.
yes.
It is interlinked with SAP or is it separate or the both are interlinked, sir?
Both are means, you means Microsoft Dynamics and SAP.
Ah, yes, sir.
Yeah, that's what. These are different ERP softwares, different developed by different companies.
Okay.
Like smartphones, take smartphones as example. When I'm talking about smartphones, it's not going to designed by or manufactured by a single company, right?
Yes, yes.
Samsung, Apple, right? There
Okay,
are
okay,
many
okay.
other companies. Everyone will manufacture their own products and sell it in the market. Depends on the customer choice. One will buy Samsung phone, the other one will buy Apple, right? Depends on their budget, their requirement. Customers used to choose their product, right?
Okay, okay, sir.
Here also we have a lot of ERP softwares. Depends on the company's requirement, they are going to purchase that particular product and start using it their company, right?
Okay, sir.
In some cases, in the same company, there might be multiple divisions. There might be multiple divisions. Like if you take Reliance or Tata, in the Tata group, they have many other companies, right? Tata Cars, Tata Steel, Tata Beverages. There are different companies, right, in a single group. So one company might using SAP ERP as their enterprise resource planning software to run their business. The other company might be smaller and they have limited business requirements. They might go with Microsoft Dynamics, right? That depends on the customer or company's requirement. They are going to choose the software. Sometimes we integrate. In this example, one company is using SAP ERP and other company is using some Microsoft Dynamics. There might be some integration required between both companies because they are under the same group, right? So in that case, there might be an integration between third-party ERP to SAP ERP. There might be some integration, like we exchange data between SAP ERP to the third-party ERP. Not only ERP systems, we can integrate SAP with any other third-party systems using some middlewares, or we can receive the data into SAP. We can send the data from SAP to the other systems. Okay. So how customer is going to choose their ERP depends on their business, depends on their revenue, budget, right? So SAP is not uh, simple softwares, right? They need to invest millions of dollars to purchase the license and to implement it in the company, right? But that is worth because it is the most powerful ERP software in the market. As of now, there is no other ERP software which is as better as SAP ERP. But you might observe some companies use Tally as their ERP. Accounting, it's just accounting software. That is also kind of ERP software. Their need is only for accounting purpose and they don't want uh, complex business process, so that they can uh, purchase the license of Tally, which is with some minimum amount, not as huge as SAP ERP, right? So is everyone clear on ERP, SAP ERP?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now I'm saying this is a ready to use product with all business inbuilt business functionalities. Now what we are going to do? What is the role of ABAP developer? Why are you learning ABAP? Because it is already developed product. So what we need to do?
To enhance the program.
Yes, even it is designed all business functionalities. If you take any two companies, core business functionalities might be common, but not 100%. 30 to 40% differences will be there. One company uses one process, the other company might uses another process, right? We need to enhance SAP ERP with the additional features. Depends on your company's requirement, right? Depends on your company's requirement. Enhancing means, what do you mean by enhance?
Increasing.
To improve or
Enhancement.
See, which is having already for that. Additionally, we will add some more settings or something. Yeah, some more options.
Adding additional options. We are not going to disturb any of the existing functionality. We are going to keep as it is and we are going to add those additional requirements, right?
Yes.
As a ABAP developer, you are going to enhance the ERP system with additional features, whatever required by the company. Develop custom applications. Let's say one company purchased SAP, but they have some special business requirements. They have some special business requirements. Those functionalities are not available in SAP ERP because it's their own special requirements, right? Now, what do that company need to do? They can create their own applications. They can develop their own applications inside SAP ERP. Okay, so the customers can design and develop. So they can design and develop new applications as per their special business needs, right? So here we are creating or designing any applications from the beginning. We need to take care of everything as a ABAP developer. In the enhancements, already maybe some 70 or 80% functionality is already there. We are going to add that additional 20% functionality to the existing application, right? For example, I'll give you a simple example. Take IRCTC website where you book train tickets, right? Let's say that application is already available and it is running. Now we need to add one option. Now we need to add one option, food food delivery option for the customer. That is a new requirement, right? So is that
Yes.
an enhancement to that IRCT application or custom?
Custom.
That's an enhancement. That's a enhancement to the existing application because we are not developing the complete IRCTC application, right? For that food delivery option, we are just going to add that additional option to that IRCTC application, right? Because you are not creating a separate application for that food delivery options, food preferences options, right? You are going to add that option to the existing application, right? That is an enhancement. When we call it as custom application, when we are creating it as a separate application from the beginning, we call that as custom application, right? Is everyone clear?
Yes, sir.
Is everyone clear about your roles as a ABAP developer?
Yes, yes.
You may need to enhance the existing applications and you may need to create custom applications.
Yes.
Who will provide these inputs? How can you know? How can you know which application you need to enhance and which application you need to design from the beginning?
Based on customer requirements.
Huh. Based on customer requirements only, but how can you know which application you need to design and how to design that application and what are the functionalities you need to implement, what are the conditions you need to implement, what are the options you need to provide in that application? How do you know as a ABAP developer? For that, you don't need to worry about it. We have functional consultants for each module like SD, MM, FI, warehouse management, production planning, HCM. So every functional module in SAP will have a functional consultant. We call them as functional consultants. What is the role of functional consultants? They analyze the current business process of the company, how they are running the business, and they compare that business process with the SAP product. Whatever the applications available in SAP are, whatever the applications available in SAP are supporting current business needs of the company or not, right? The standard applications are going to provide business requirements of the company or not. These functional consultants will analyze that. Usually senior level architects or senior level functional consultants will do that. They find the gaps. They find the gaps. What do you mean by gap?
Uh, what is the current state and what are we going to achieve?
Huh. They find the gaps. They'll analyze what is the current business process and what are the functionalities available in ERP. So my current business process, we have all the applications suitable for my current business process or not. They'll analyze that. If there is no application which is supporting my current business process, that's kind of a gap. They say that there is a gap in between SAP ERP and current business process. To fulfill that gap, what they do, they design that application which is required for current business process, which is not available in SAP ERP, and they provide those inputs, how you need to design, what are the conditions you need to add, what are the options you need to provide. All these inputs they'll provide to which one? ABAP developer.
Yeah,
From where you need to get the data, what is the options you need to add, right? What are the mandatory options, what are the optional things, everything they need to provide. Functional consultants needs to provide those inputs to the ABAP developers. So ABAP developer is responsible to develop the applications by using those inputs. Okay, clear?
yes, sir.
So is everyone clear about the role of ABAP developer,
Yes, sir.
the role of functional
Yes, sir.
consultant?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
And there is another administration role like basis, SAP basis consultants. What they do, they maintain the system. We call them as basis consultants. They maintain the system, servers. They take backups of the servers. They do disaster recovery of the servers. System maintenance activities. We call them as basis consultants. Administration activities will be handled by them. And we have another module like SAP security. SAP security team is responsible to maintain the user access, authorizations, okay, everything. So most of the people used to um, check for modules like security, these functional roles, because they used to say that we don't need to write any code. But these functional modules are very difficult than ABAP application development, because you need to interact with the customers, you need to understand the business requirements, right? You need to interact with the high level managers of the company to understand their business needs, and you need to convey that business needs to the ABAP developers. It is very difficult thing than ABAP development. In software industry, most of the people, like whoever, most of the students used to ask for technology with no programming or no coding. They think that is very easy, non-programming technologies. But in general, in these analytical applications or any applications with no coding, you need to interact with many business users. You need to understand the requirements, right? Any questions on SAP ERP or ABAP development?
No, sir.
Sir,
Can you repeat ABAP developer once again, sir? In a shortcut way.
So the ABAP developer needs to work with functional consultants to receive the inputs on the enhancements or custom applications what he needs to develop. So the functional consultants will provide all the inputs in the form of a document. We call that as functional specification document. So in that functional specification document, functional consultants will mention everything. What is the application you need to design? And what is the functionality of that application? What are the rules you need to implement? Right? What are the options you need to provide? Everything they'll mention in that document. So you need to work with functional consultants and develop applications, SAP ERP applications. To develop the SAP ERP applications, which module we use, which programming we use in SAP?
ABAP.
ABAP. We use ABAP to enhance the existing applications or create the new applications. Okay? Is everyone clear?
Yes, sir.
See, guys, first you need to understand why I am learning this technology and how I am going to use this in the project, right? You should have that clarity. That is very important. Okay? Because like in our colleges or schools, we completed all graduation, post graduation and everything. Still when we are studying, right? When we are pursuing that graduation or post graduation, engineering or whatever, there are many subjects, right? In the curriculum, starting from, if you take computer science, we have starting from C++, Java, right? Data warehousing, artificial intelligence, and everything will be there. But still we don't know, we don't have any clarity at that time why we are learning that and how we are going to use that, right? So now we need that clarity. So why we are learning ABAP and how I am going to use this in the project. Is everyone have clarity on that now?
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes. Now we are done with SAP ERP, and let's see what is OLTP and OLAP. OLTP and OLAP. online transaction processing and online analytical processing. Online transaction processing and online analytical processing. So what is online transaction processing and what is online analytical processing? These are two different systems. These are two different systems. So online transaction processing system is used to maintain the what is the OLTP system used for? Maintain daily transactions of the company. Maintains only operational data. Maintains only operational data. So OLTP systems maintains only operational data. What do you mean by operational data? I can also call it as current data. So OLTP systems are used to create daily transactions of the company and it maintains only operational data or current data. What do you mean by that? Most recent data. OLTP systems will maintain only most recent data which is used for the business purpose. I'll tell you an example. When you go to the shopping mall, when you purchase something and when you go to the counter, they used to bill, right? They used to generate a bill, right?
Yes, sir.
With all your purchases, they are going to generate one bill. That is called one transaction for the company. Whatever the company that is maintaining that shopping mall, right? That is one transaction for the company. The system, they are using some system, right? To generate that billing using some barcode scanner or something. What type of system it is? What is the use of that system? To create the
It's,
transactions, right? To generate
yes,
the
sir.
billing, right? That system is called OLTP system, online transaction processing system. Let's take ATM. You can deposit something and you can withdraw something, right? In few ATMs, you can also deposit the amount. So what do they create? What do the ATMs create? Transactions, right?
Transactions.
Deposits, withdrawals, only transactions. That is also kind of OLTP
OLTP.
system. Bank counter. When you go to the bank, either you can deposit the amount or withdraw the amount. Transactions, right? That is also kind of OLTP system, what they are using. OLTP software. By using the OLTP software, they are creating the transactions. That again, that OLTP system might be designed by anyone. That might be designed by SAP, Oracle, Microsoft. I'm talking about type of the system, OLTP or OLAP. So the system where we create transactions, daily transactions, daily business data, that system we call as OLTP system. Okay, that system might be any brand, right? Here in the OLTP systems, usually organizations maintain only current data or operational data. What do you mean by operational data? Maybe last 4 years data, maybe last 5 years data. They don't maintain last 30 years data in the OLTP system. Maybe they are using that system from last 20 years. Still, they don't maintain last 20 years data in OLTP systems. What they do? They archive or delete that old data. They take some backup and delete that data. Because it is additional overhead, right? To maintain all the years old data.
Yes, sir.
in the system, just like how we take photos, random photos, and keep it on our mobile, which going to hamper the performance of that mobile phone, right? After a few years, even though we don't use or we don't see those photos or videos, they'll be kept in the mobile phone, right? Which is going to consume all the memory and the performance is going to impact, right?
Yes, sir.
So if you take any company, they maintain only operational data, maybe which is last 5 years or 6 years data. They're not going to maintain all the years old data in OLTP systems because it's going to affect the performance of the OLTP system. What is the critical system for any company?
Performance.
Performance of the OLTP system, because all their transactions are going to be created on which system? OLTP systems. Okay. That might be developed by any company. That might be developed by Microsoft, SAP. That system can be, OLTP system can be designed or developed by any company. But all their critical transactions will work on OLTP systems usually. If you go to the bank, they're going to use OLTP systems to create all your transactions. Let's say there is a server down. There is some issue with the system. Then there is a huge delay, right? To complete, this is very common. If you go to any SBI or any kind of banks, they used to say that server is down because there is a huge load on OLTP systems. Sometimes they may crash, right? In that case, there is a huge loss of business, right? Customers can't do any transactions, right? Until it is resolved.
Yes, sir.
Since it is a bank, maybe we can wait. But if you take any competitive business, if your systems are not working properly due to that issue, you are not able to create any transactions. The customers won't wait, right? They'll go for another company or another alternative, right? That's why it is very crucial to maintain this OLTP systems. That's why companies only maintain whatever the data they need, and they'll archive or delete all historical data. Okay, to improve the performance of the OLTP systems, because it's going to generate their daily transactions, right? Is everyone clear about OLTP systems?
Yes, sir.
Now, I'll tell you one example for OLTP system. SAP ERP is one kind of OLTP system. Okay, SAP ERP is the OLTP system where you create business transactions daily. That might be purchase orders, sales orders, invoice, billing, right? Account payables, account receivables, employee attendance, employee payroll, everything is a transaction, right? So SAP ERP is the example of OLTP system. Okay, is everyone clear? Now, is everyone clear or any questions on OLTP?
Yes, sir. Very clear.
Clear.
Now, we'll talk about OLAP system, online analytical processing. What are these kind of systems? Why companies uses this OLAP softwares or OLAP systems? So I've already provided an example for OLTP software. SAP ERP is a OLTP software where we create daily business transactions. Maybe other companies might use their own systems to create the transactions, right? Now we'll talk about OLAP, online analytical processing. What is the use of these softwares?
Analyze transaction.
Yes, to analyze the business transactions, maybe the complete performance of the business. Okay, the transactions will be created in OLTP system. Those transactions, let's say let's take one shopping mall, right? They are using one online transaction processing system to generate the billing, right? In the first step, in the maybe you are the first when you are buying it the first time, they'll take your details like your phone number or name, and they'll create your master data record, and on that master data record they'll create your transaction, right? Let's say the management of the shopping mall want to analyze their business. What are the products that are having huge sales in the month of December? They want to identify those products which are having huge demand in the month of December. What are the age group of the customer who's buying that product? They want to analyze that so that the company can maintain more stock on that, right? They'll purchase, they'll plan the production of those products, right? So that they can make them ready by month of December, right? So that
Yes, sir.
they can sell more products to the customer without saying there is no stock, right? If they can plan accordingly, they can maintain the stock, right? But how do they know? How do they know? The top level management know what is the product that is having huge sales in the month of December. What they need to do? They need to analyze all the transactions created in the month of December,
Yes, sir.
right? If you take Amazon, how many transactions per day they'll create? How many orders they might receive per day?
Some lakhs of.
Maybe 10 lakhs, maybe 20 lakhs also possible, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, the Amazon company's management want to analyze what are the products that are having huge demand in the month of December. Now, how can they know that? They need to search or they need to summarize all the transactions created in the month of December 2022, right?
Yes, sir.
They need to summarize all those transactions. Is it possible for the management to go through each transaction? Because there are lakhs of transactions, right? It
Yes,
is
sir.
not possible. So for that reason, we move all the transactions to OLAP systems, which are designed for analyzing the business data, So it will aggregate or summarize all those lakhs of transactions and generates the analysis, or reports. So this OLAP system used to analyze the business performance or analyzing the business requirements. What is the advantage of this? The main advantage is decision making. Decision making. So the company's management, the top level management can take efficient decisions, which will improve their business, right? But how can they take decisions? Before taking any decision, they need to know, right? They need to know the facts. What is their current business performance and how can they improve it? If Amazon knows If Amazon can predict the products which are going to be having more demand in month of December, so the Amazon can work with production or external sellers to make that product available, right? More stock will be available, right? If they can take that better decision, so that more customers are going to buy that product, and the company at the end, the company is going to get more revenue, right? Let's say they did not use some analysis, they did not go through the data, and they manufactured some random products, right? But customer may not be interested in those products, right? That is a huge loss for the company, right?
Yes, sir.
So that's why companies or organizations use OLAP software to take the business decisions by analyzing their data. Where we are going to create the transactions? In which system?
OLTP.
OLTP, right? So on which data we are going to do this analysis? The company management need to do this analysis on OLTP transactions only, right?
Yes,
The
sir.
transactions which are created, right? So what is the customer, and what is the age of the customer? What are the products he is buying, right? You need to analyze in OLTP data only. But why we need a separate system, OLAP system? Why can't we do that analysis in OLTP?
So most of the backups won't be available.
Hmm.
Current data only available.
Historical data is not going to be available. That is one thing. Because if you want to analyze 5 years data, that may not be available in OLTP system. That is one reason. The other most important reason is we should not disturb, or we should not affect the performance of the OLTP system by doing this analysis operations, right? For example, to generate one report, the product which is having huge sales in the month of December, how many records you need to check? Maybe you need to check 20 million records, right? Once you press that report, it needs to go through these 20 millions of records to collect the data and summarize it, and it needs to provide the results for you, right? But if you are doing that in the OLTP system, one way the transactions are going on, right? And the other way you are trying to sum up 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs records. Most of your system resources like RAM and everything consumed on your analysis, right? It's going to affect transactional systems, the transactions, right? That should not happen, because the transactions are very important for any organization. For your analysis, you should not affect OLTP systems. Okay. So for that reason, we maintain separate OLTP systems. Observe here. Let's say a bank is having a OLTP system to create daily transactions. What do we do? What do they do in OLTP systems? We can either create a record or change the record. We can create new entry, or we can change the entry, right? Just uh, relate with your bank passbook, right? They can create a transaction or change the transaction. What type of data we are going to create here in OLTP systems? Operational data or current data.
Operational.
It is not recommended to do analysis, right? Generate reports on OLTP systems, because it will affect the performance of the transactions or OLTP systems. But how can the let's say this bank management want to analyze the customers, right? What are the customer choice? What are the customer requirements, right? So that they can plan better decision to attract more customers, right? For that reason, they maintain a separate OLAP system, OLAP system. Who will handle these OLAP systems? Usually, top level managements access business data, generate the reports, right? To check their business performance. What is the sales revenue this year or in a particular month? What is the product that is having huge sales? What is the product that is not performing well, right? Everything they have to analyze. For that analysis, what they need to do? They need to summarize millions of records which are created in the OLTP system, right? But data is created in OLTP and they need to do analysis in OLAP. How this OLTP system data is going to be available in OLAP?
Uh, Transferring some using some
Excellent.
Use usually any software uses ETL process. Please mute. Please mute. ETL process. Extraction, transformation, and loading. Once the business hours are completed, right? Once the office hours are completed, what will happen? All the transactions created on that day will be moved to or copied to OLAP systems using some ETL process. Extraction, transformation, and loading. Okay? Clear? This is a daily activity. Every day, all the business data will be, all the business transactions will be copied or moved to OLAP system after business hours, after completing all the transactions on that day. Okay? Clear?
Yes, sir.
In OLAP
Yes, sir.
systems, we are not going to create any transactions. We don't create any records. We don't change any records. Only we copy OLTP transactions to OLAP systems and we analyze those records. Okay? We call that as aggregated data. Aggregated means summarized data. Okay? Let's say, I'll give you a simple example. If you take a school, as example, uh, like that class teacher wants to know hobbies of the students, right? He can prepare a list of students and hobbies, right? In a list. But if headmaster want to know that, is he interested in the list of all the students? No, right? He usually want to know count by class. In class A, hobby and the count, right? And if that district collector want to know that, he want to know by class and the count, no, right? He is
Yes, sir.
interested to check subdivision or mandal and the count, hobby and the count, right? You don't want to go by school wise, right? Even or maybe village wise, right? You want to see more high level data. And if that data needs to be presented to the chief minister, is he interested in uh, subdivision or mandal wise count? No, right? He's interested in district wise, district and hobby and how many, what is the count, right? So always the top level management is not interested in very low level data, basic data. They want to see high level data. How can you generate that high level data? By analyzing these hundreds of, maybe thousands of millions of records, right? We can generate one high level data. Clear? So that is the purpose of OLAP system. We don't want to hamper OLTP systems by doing all this analysis in OLAP systems. So we generate reports on the business performance. In OLTP, we create daily business transactions. How can we move OLTP data to OLAP?
by ETL process.
By using ETL, extraction, transformation, and loading process. This is common in any softwares, not only in SAP. So in SAP, the example of OLTP is SAP ERP, right? In what is the example for OLAP? SAP BW. SAP BW is the example for OLAP system. In Microsoft, we have Microsoft Dynamics as their OLTP, and MSBI. Microsoft MSBI is the example for OLAP system, analysis system of Microsoft. Okay, every company will have their own products. Okay, is everyone clear?
Yes, sir.
That's about today. So rest of the topics we'll discuss in detail tomorrow, because introductions are very important, because you need to know what you are going to do, right? First you need to understand that.